Thank you. And good morning. So if you are familiar with SDL, you're going to love this. If you are not familiar with SDL, well, you're going to love it. It's just the way that we do things. So Smart Device Link, SDL, what is Smart Device Link? Smart Device Link is a connectivity solution that began life as AppLink at Ford. We contributed Smart Device Link to an open source consortium in 2013 at CES when we launched the Ford Developer Program. The solution itself is a very simple, very easy way to get content into the vehicle that's already existing on the mobile phone or a tablet or any other mobile device. The whole idea is that it is agnostic to what is happening in the vehicle head unit, and it's agnostic to what OS is running on the device. It's simply a Bluetooth connection layer that allows the app that's running on the device to communicate with the HMI in the vehicle. So this means that you don't have to have something embedded. This means that you don't have to have something changing if, heaven forbid, an app doesn't make its life cycle for 10 or 11 years as the vehicle does. It's not going to have an orphaned icon sitting on your screen. So now, the content that people have on their devices can come into the vehicle. That barrier of closing the door and everything that you've done before is closed out, is gone. Now you've got the ability to have your streaming music, to have your sports, your weather, and now with a whole different level of communication that you can have with vehicle data, with navigation, with all kinds of things that are going to be happening in the vehicle. They can happen based off of the device that somebody already has with them and the habits that they've already built outside of the vehicle. And it's done in an appropriate way. Within the Smart Device Link family now, Ford obviously launched as AppLink. We now have Toyota as well, who has publicly committed to launching SDL very, very soon. And we've got a number of other very smart, very handsome OEMs that are also going to be picking up SDL. They are investigating publicly with a very large number of also very, very smart OEMs who are doing it privately. And hopefully soon we'll be able to talk about them as well. The whole idea of SDL here is that it is an open source. It is a group that is contributing. It is a group that controls this. It's not a Ford product. We actually pull from the SDL commits just like anybody else will. We don't put it in Ford first and then give it to everybody else. We're pulling the same exact code that Toyota will be, that all the rest of our friends will be as well. And it's not just OEMs that are contributing. It's not just OEMs that are participating here. The ecosystem for SDL is growing very, very rapidly. We've got platform providers. We've got tier ones. Anybody who wants to join SDL can join SDL and can contribute and can pull and can actually benefit from what we're doing here. The more people that we get, the more companies that we have, and the more people that are contributing, the better this product is going to be, the better the end result is going to be, and the better product that we're going to be able to put into each of our own vehicles is going to be. Why would you want to do SDL? If you're an OEM, you maintain your branding. There are a lot of third-party solutions, I will call them, that are now creeping their way into the automotive industry. Many of them coming out of Silicon Valley, obviously, because they move very, very quickly. And we here in the automotive industry move slightly slower, but we're getting better. As an OEM, you want to maintain your branding, your HMI. I've been in the automotive industry for 4 years now, and I was told that the HMI and the front of the vehicle are the two places where we're going to keep that branding. That's important to us. So if that's important to you and you want to maintain that, you want to control that, SDL gives you that. If you're adopting third-party solutions, you may not always have that capability. If you're an app developer, you want to maintain branding. SDL affords you that opportunity to maintain your branding as well. Driver distraction. Obviously, you can't blue screen a vehicle. That's not going to be good. You also have to worry about driver workload, cognitive load. How long are their eyes off the road? Are you taking their hands off the wheel? How many actions does it take to complete a task? There's a huge, huge litany of things that NHTSA sets out as far as guidelines that we have to maintain and we have to follow. This allows us to do that with a templated approach in the vehicle. Instead of trying to rewrite HMI, instead of trying to screen scrape, we as the OEMs and as the providers to OEMs have a template which is already conforming to all of these guidelines and is already following distracted driver rules. Vehicle data administration is important. Many of the people that you're going to see here at the show and many of the people you're going to speak to are talking about vehicle-generated data and who owns that and how do you maintain that and who gets access to that. With SDL, the OEM still has control over that. How you want to dictate that, how you want to use that, and who you want to give access to is still maintained in your coffers. And finally, applications, content. The whole point of why we're doing this. For the end users, for the owners of vehicles. Again, it's the content that they're accustomed to. It's the habits that they've already built and they've got in their hand with them 23 to 24 hours a day and they enjoy using. For app developers, it gives you that capability to bring an app to life, to extend that use. And again, for the OEMs, we've already got 100 applications that are SDL compatible around the world. If you're looking for a simple way to bring content in your vehicle in a very quick way, a quick and easy way, these apps are compatible. They will work in any vehicle that is SDL compatible. So obviously, you can bring in your weather with AccuWeather, streaming music with our friends from Spotify, sports from MLB, and now the ability to have roadside assistance with AAA, or if you're a friend of the North, with CAA. All of this stuff is available, and it's available for SDL partners. We're actually now going to produce another partner for you to take a look at.
The connected car is taking a quantum leap forward. Beyond entertainment and information, unlocking the powerful cost-saving potential of driver data. Introducing Driver Score from iVox, a consumer-facing app on Ford's Sync AppLink platform that offers drivers an opportunity to dramatically lower their auto insurance costs. Utilizing second-by-second vehicle performance data, drivers receive dynamic feedback on their safe driving across an array of data points. The Driver Score app allows each user to create their own personal cloud of driver data. This revolutionary app delivers a clear, concise, data-supported driver score. The score is designed to share with participating insurance carriers through the innovative iVox Insurance Discount Marketplace. The iVox platform works with multiple insurance companies across all 50 states. Simply generate a strong driver score and instantly score big-time savings. Dramatically lower insurance costs with one simple click. Driver Score revolutionizes driver safety with valuable features to help improve drivers of all ages. State-of-the-art security and rock-solid privacy keep the driver in total control of their data. Driver Score is a cutting-edge, data-driven application that greatly benefits today's ultra-connected driver. Refined technology from iVox, Driver Score, and Insurance Discount Marketplace. Available this spring on the all-new Ford lineup.
So we're happy to welcome Driver Score as the first UBI mobile application to be connected to a vehicle, utilizing vehicle data in order to help our drivers and our owners save money on insurance. Again, SDL enabled, anybody with SDL can use Driver Score. So how can you find out more about SDL and how can you move things forward? In September, in CTIA in Las Vegas, Nevada, we will be holding the 3rd annual developer conference, the Ford Dev Developer Conference. We're going to be talking about AppLink. We're going to be talking about SDL. We're going to be informing everybody that wants to come and see how do you develop, how do you learn, how do you embed SDL, how do you make applications that will work with SDL, and open up this ecosystem. We had a very, very good meeting at CES. A number of you were there and involved in that summit. We're going to try to push this as hard as we can so that we can get everybody moving on the same direction. The response has been tremendous so far, and we thank all of you for that. We're going to have registration starting in about 2 weeks. If you would like some more information, if you want to be on a list to find out when registration actually opens, feel free to send us an email at forddev@ford.com, and we will be happy to let you know as soon as registration opens, and we hope to see you at the Ford Developer Conference September 7th in the Sands Expo Center in Las Vegas. And so now to talk about the evolution of SDL and take you from where we've been into where we're going, and to talk about some new and exciting tools that we're going to add, I'm going to welcome to the stage Justin Dico, product manager from Livio, who is the administration company and large partner in SDL overall. Justin?
Thank you. Okay, so I'm Justin Dico. I'm a product manager at Livio. I basically handle a lot of the back and forth, all of the information that goes between us at SDL and Ford and Livio to all of the different OEMs and app partners. And so one of the things that I'm here to talk about today is a pretty bland topic, but hopefully we make it pretty exciting. It's documentation. We have a lot of documentation with SDL, and basically people find themselves on several different websites. They're sending us emails, they're on GitHub, they're on Genevi, they're on the Ford developer portal. Sometimes they even end up on our front user-facing website. And so we needed a central hub for developers to learn about and work with SDL technology. And so if you join Scott and I at CES this year, we promised that this year we would deliver a Ford developer portal. And I'm basically here today to tell you that we are delivering on that promise. So kind of what does the developer portal do, and how do we separate the types of information that we use, because this is an open source project? So number one, a lot of the companies that we work with, including us, we're actually developing the technology. So developing SDL includes contributing open source components to GitHub, working on issues, having discussions around how SDL works and what are the features of SDL. And those are really the embedded components, the iOS and the Android libraries, and the server. And then there's the OEM partners and the app partners that we work with. And they need information like, how do our APIs work? How do I get started? How do I get connected to vehicles? What vehicles can I connect to? Where are the partnership opportunities? How do I get in contact with these people? And these are the technologies that are the SDL HMI that you see in the vehicles, the Android and iOS developer-facing libraries. So today I'm going to announce the SDL developer portal. But first I want to talk about branding, and I'm glad that Scott didn't have the new branding on his slides, because I wanted to talk about it first. So if you take a look at our logo, when we started the Ford Developer Portal, we figured we had a good chance to kind of evolve this imagery. And kind of the metric that we went off of, even though it was pretty subjective, is that we really wanted to create something that people would want to wear on a t-shirt. So we go to a lot of conferences, we make a lot of swag, we give things out. And so that was kind of unfortunately, this is not something that we really, really want to wear on a t-shirt. We took a look at it. There was kind of a lot of extra elements to this graphic. It wasn't very symmetrical. And so we basically made a slight evolution on it and figured that this is the perfect time to evolve the logo. So this is our new logo for SDL. It comes in several different colors, and you can get all of the assets and everything directly from the developer portal I'm about to show you. That was weird. That's supposed to be a different color. Okay, so the developer portal right now is available on smartdevicelink.com. There's a full mobile library, so everyone can pull out their phones, and I can watch the analytics traffic go way up. So the developer portal is about everything integrating SDL that I talked about earlier. So the first thing that you're going to see if you go to this website right now is global search. So you will be able to search across the entire website, all of the APIs. If you're familiar with any of the APIs, you might be searching things like onReady. I see onReady in my API documentation. What does that thing mean? So you'll be able to get to this immediately on the front page of SDL. You'll see very useful search results directly in line, and you'll be able to go to this documentation. So obviously the second thing is API reference. So our documentation is fully available on this website in line. So the search will be taking you to the different types of documentation for the HMI. For example, as we're showing here, we see how to implement this API in the vehicle called OnReady. We have guides and tutorials. So guides and tutorials are, let's say I'm an iOS developer and I've heard that there's a mobile navigation solution in SDL. So what does that really mean? How can I use it? What are the requirements around using it? I can get to all of those things in the SDL developer portal. And good news, because our product is completely open source that we expect you to put into your applications and in your vehicles, our documentation is also open source as well, and available on the same GitHub organization. So what we really did was we created a new documentation platform and an extension of Markdown that enables all of the styling that you see in our website, but our documentation is on GitHub as well, and everybody can contribute to it. So what's kind of coming next with this platform? We're soon going to have the ability for OEMs to add specific OEM information to their pages on the website, and they'll have full control of that. We have a product coming out called Manticore, which is basically going to be if you're an app developer and you want to see what your app integration looks like in the vehicle, you'll be able to do things like that directly from the website rather than getting access to hardware and needing to go to a dealership to get your vehicle and things like that. And then we'll also be announcing global app IDs for app developers, which will enable you to work with multiple vehicles almost automatically. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to put Slido up. We've had a few entries, so maybe we'll just take it from the top. What are the limitations of having to use Bluetooth over cable? Anonymous asks.
I'll let you answer that.
What are the limitations of having to use Bluetooth over cable? Well, so the first obvious limitation of using Bluetooth is bandwidth. The second one is battery life. That fully answers that question.
Okay, second one, will the apps be able to interface with the sensors on the car?
Yeah, so at CES, we actually talked about a technology in Smart Device Link called Smart Device Link Remote Control. We're currently in a bug fixing and release phase for that before it gets merged into our master. But basically, we created a way for applications to get permission to read data from the vehicle from things like the air conditioning and like seat modules in the vehicle, and we'll be able to give them write access to those as well. So yes, you absolutely can read from sensors in the vehicle, assuming that a vehicle or that an auto manufacturer implements those APIs.
Yeah, and your OS, if your OS sits on the CAN bus, it can access all the data that you want to make available from the CAN bus through SDL.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Last question. How does SDL work with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto?
It lives in the same universe. So SDL was around before each of those. They are all individual and different solutions. SDL is the one that is controllable by the OEM and by the developer. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are run by their individual companies and are subject to how they run their rules. SDL is our open source so that we can make our rules.
Okay. Scott and Justin, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.